Alright, so I'm here to introduce the Mobile Traveler. This is a 1983 Mobile Traveler. It's a pretty small model, which is what I wanted. It's in really pretty good shape. I'll show you a couple of the issues. When I say good shape, I mean it's kind of repairable. You can see right here, let's see if you can see in the light right there, you can see there's a dent in the door. And another bad spot was this A-pillar here. Has some little bit of rust cancer. I actually didn't see that the night I bought this, but it was one of the discoveries. I really like the body style on this guy. It's got a dually. Here's another issue. I got a water fill kind of cover. It just came in yesterday. Take a look at that. It's got a dually rear end, full floating rear axle. There's the logo of the Mobile Traveler. You got the Transformers logo right there. One thing I don't like is the drain here. You can see is quite low to the ground. Look at it, the way it sits. It's the rear sits a little bit lower than the front, so you might be able to raise up that tank a little bit, or do a little bit, but I want to get a little bit more clearance in the rear there. This RV is set up for propane, which is cool because it runs the hot water heater, stove, and oven. Pretty old and rusty actually, so that tank might need to get replaced, but it's kind of set up there for it. You can see that guy right there, which is kind of a light by the door, which is really cool, I think. Exhaust for the old fridge, which is no longer in there. All right, so this lock right here is actually the one thing that I already fixed. Took this guy apart, and there's a couple springs that kind of hold the latch so that it's springs back like that, and those guys are just over compressed. Small and cozy interior. I really like the setup. So you come back, straight back, and you're into the kitchen. It's nice. It's a pretty roomy, spacious kitchen space you got here. You got overhead cabinets. Brightness up. You got overhead cabinets that roll up. Just brings my water tank. The water tank down here. See this panel right here? This panel's kind of sagging a little bit, but you can see this, it's got these nice shelves, and they have a cool vibe to them, I think. So like I said, the swamp cooler is bad, and this is the kind of the biggest problem, well, one of the biggest problems. One of the two biggest problems is this roof is just wasted. The dude said there's a leak, and right under this area, the floor is, it's got some water damage. I'm kind of bouncing up and down on it right now. This guy right here is a swivel chair right behind, the regular van seats. And got the overhead bunk, which is super cool. Underneath this space right here, this is kind of where the AC type stuff goes. Like the AC main circuits, I think, are in there. Oh, and I forgot. The whole reason I want an RV rather than a van is because I didn't want to run this plumbing. Doing all the setup, I just wanted to be able to have a shower and a bathroom. Just if you get sick while you're camping or something, I think this is going to make it a lot more comfortable, especially during COVID times. So the other thing that is not great is, I got this thing for a pretty decent deal, but it does have a bad motor. So we had this guy towed to our place. Got a lot of work to do, but I'm really excited. This has a seat belt, and the bench has a seat belt, so technically it's 5-person. Since you have this bed and the overhead bunk, you could sleep quite a few people in here. This overhead bunk is actually quite large, and it has this vent up here. Actually doesn't have a fan up here, so that would definitely be a good addition, is to put a fan up here. One thing I really want to do in this video, which I think would be a fun and easy repair, is that dent. I guess I don't know if it'll be fun and easy, but I've seen some videos on YouTube, and I just want to give a try for the painless dent removal DIY. Alright, so I hope you guys can see this. I don't know that you can.
Since the motor was bad when I filmed this, there was no way to move the RV, so this is the best angle I had.
I got my propane torch, and I got these, let's see, are they 10 inches long? Yeah, 10 inch long glue sticks. So you see this orange thing right here? I tried to clean this because my torch got really dirty. I tried to clean it with acetone, which destroys this plastic, so don't try to clean this with acetone, by the way. But I printed this TEPG knob, which is super big and actually pretty nice to turn, so happy accident there. Never done this, but it seems like a good idea to clean it with in the area with isopropyl alcohol. See, there's another small dent right there. See, that right there is paint. That's where it stuck to the paint. Interesting. So you can see the plastic flowing everywhere. You could see it moving though. I think ultimately this is not the best method. Yeah, so this didn't end up working out for me, but it was kind of fun to try. I think it might work better on a modern car with thinner sheet metal. But one thing I hate, when you get a vehicle and this guy right here is spinning. So you can see that that square portion of this is just spinning. It doesn't bite in there anymore. And so you try to undo the battery, this spins, you gotta hold this, total pain. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna modify this to put a little bit of a extra piece of metal right there, so that it no longer tries to spin on me. If you have long enough cables, you can get aftermarket cable lugs that you can kind of screw onto the battery and strip it back a little bit. But in this case, I just wanted to try something out, and a lot of times you don't have extra cable length. What a beauty. So that should now stay not spinning. Try to slide this guy in. Oh yeah, baby. So it still spins, but it can only spin so far. We'll work on improving that design as I buy more vehicles that have the same exact problem.
Now it's time to start diagnosing and figure out if I can get this thing to at least move around the yard. Before I remove the air cleaner, I'm taking out the doghouse so I can get a little bit better access to the engine compartment.
She's out. I'm taking the carb cover off. I think it's a carb. Got a bunch of vacuum lines. Everybody loves those. One cool thing about the RV is got a little more space from the camera to set up, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so I got a rag to muffle flames. I got fire extinguisher. I got the doors open so the air can flow in here. Batteries charge up. Check the oil. Oil's good. Cooling slow, so if I get her started, I won't run her for too long. Go ahead and give her hell. Let the bud fly.
So it sounded like the engine was trying to fire, but I couldn't get it to kick off. And you can't get it to run, you might as well clean the valve cover. A clean valve cover is not going to get this engine running, but I did want to take a peek at the vacuum line diagram on this valve cover. I want to do a little bit of investigation to see what all the vacuum components are, but also wanted to make sure I have a reference for how to put this thing back together.
Backfire. Alright, so fuel, air, spark, timing, that's what you need to run an engine. So I got the battery charging right now so I can kind of give it more of a chance to start up. But I do have one of my spark plug wires kind of unhooked here, and I got it grounded to the intake, the vacuum intake, and so that should tell me if I have spark. So I'll give it.
The fact that I could hear the engine firing is a pretty good indication I have some spark, but it's good to see it and definitively check it off your list.
So actually, I do see spark there. So that's good, I have spark.
I cranked the engine over a few more times and started to see a little bit of smoke in the passenger side of the engine compartment, which turned out to be a cracked exhaust manifold.
God, it wants to start. Well, I'll show you the cracked exhaust manifold. See that guy right there. If I turn it over, let's see here, turn it over. Sometimes I've seen smoke come out of there. Alright, so I got this crazy light mirror set up. I'm going to try to see if I can see any fuel coming out. I think I might be able to see if I can't cock my head just right with that thing.
With my mirror method, I still couldn't really verify if fuel was getting into the carb, so I went to the front of the engine to see if there's any more clues.
Alright, this might be a challenge to show. I verified that fuel is getting up to the carb. Because there's a massive leak in the accelerator pump. See that? So every time I do that and let go, it squirts out right there. So we're getting fuel. We have spark, at least from the distributor to the wires, at least to one. I have to have air. So I think I'll probably check the spark plugs next. Alright, so I got a new diaphragm for my accelerator pump. This is basically like a little, it's a little pump that moves and then it basically displaces the fuel into your squirters. I also took the top off the carburetor and made sure that my little squirters, the openings where the fuel kind of pours in there when the accelerator pump is pressed. I made sure to take that top off and make sure that you could spray carb cleaner through there, so that was good. The carburetor actually looked pretty good inside. It's just obviously this is bad, and these go bad like once a year because of the ethanol in the fuel, I'm pretty sure, or maybe the quality of production of these has gone down. I don't know. But I also took a spark plug. I'm gonna replace all the spark plugs because that's one of the. It's a cheap maintenance thing that might be able to solve my problem. If these are all kind of fouled up from too much fuel, me trying to start at bad fuel, stuff like that. So I'm gonna change all those. All right, so no, I'm super overexposed, but you can see right in there is where I took the accelerator pump off. It's just those 4 bolts around it, and there's a spring behind there that I have to put in. And so I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall that first. Replace all the spark plugs one by one and try to start again. Changed out the spark plugs, and yeah, the accelerator pump is now, the diaphragm is now replaced. So I'm hopeful this is gonna start. The spark plugs look pretty bad. There was some gummy stuff, and one of the like the electrode gap had some kind of jelly stuff in there, so that's obviously not good, but I'm hopeful that it will start. Just because those fresh spark plugs that can ignite that fuel that's coming in there. Still don't really know if it's good fuel, but it's getting fuel, and hopefully Hopefully she starts right up. She runs.
Alright guys, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the episode there. Motor is running, but it sounds absolutely terrible. So it's gonna require some serious investigation. Stay tuned if you're curious about this build. There's gonna be many episodes. I'm pretty far into this project right now. I just have a backlog of editing. I'm gonna try to keep posting videos. Thanks for watching. Yeah, like and subscribe if you thought this was entertaining or you learned something. Yeah, until next time.
And that tag has character for days.